only work the posted hours.
Many years ago I worked at a place with lots of arcade games and pizza, similar to Chuck E. Cheese. I was hired to do maintenance, repair, and set up of these arcade machines. There was already someone there doing this, but they were never allowed to work more than 40 hours a week, and the place was open 7 days a week, 9 hours a day, 63 hours a week, not including prep for opening and cleanup after closing. At the end of my first shift I was told that I was also expected to help with cleanup, since everyone that worked close had to help with cleanup. All my shifts were close shifts. This meant I had less time before my morning classes than I expected when taking the job, but a few extra bucks was valuable to a starving college student. Fast forward about 2 months. New manager, fresh out of high school, gets his big boy boots on and starts making rules.
First rule, a schedule with everyone's hours for the next week will be posted by Friday morning. Second rule, you must clock in before your posted shift start time, but not more than 5 minutes before your shift. Third rule, you must clock out at the end of your posted shift in time, no more than 5 minutes after. At the end of my first shift after these rules were created, I clocked out and left everyone else to do the cleanup. To be clear, it's not like I was getting time and a half overtime or anything. All I expected was to be paid my normal rate, and they didn't want to pay even that, so I clocked out and left.
At the beginning of my next shift they were angry. They expected me to clock out and then work over an hour for free, every single shift. These were only 5-hour shifts too. I refused. The next week they posted a new schedule with my shift ending an hour later. Since everyone saw the list, they all got mad. I guess they were all just fine with wage theft until one person refused. The next week everyone had an extra hour on their shifts. At this point his wage theft scheme had failed. Fast forward a couple weeks and this new manager doesn't come in on Thursday. He doesn't come in until Monday. No schedule is posted. Monday afternoon I go in to get my check and say, "See you next week." I'm told my shift started half an hour ago. I say I made plans since I wasn't on the schedule. No schedule means I couldn't be on it. The manager point to a schedule posted on the wall, printed just hours before, after some of the shifts on it had already started.
I thanked him for posting next week's schedule early and started to leave. Then I was threatened with termination. And I kept walking. Came back a week later and talked with the daytime guy doing the same job. He said it was a bad week. Many machines were down and he was walking around with like $100 in tokens because he was spending much of his time giving refunds. To the point he didn't have enough uninterrupted time to make any repairs. He was also keeping a roll of masking tape with him to tape over the coin slots as the machines failed. This meant a lot more use on the remaining machines, which started to show it quickly. I go to clock in and was told I had been fired. I smiled and walked out. Spoke with the daytime guy a while later. Apparently they never filled my position. People with mechanical and electrical knowledge willing to work minimum wage are rare. Instead he was getting 14 hours a week in time and a half overtime, with a base pay almost twice what I was getting. This extra expense came out of the department budget, which also paid for replacement parts. Even before this it was never enough to buy enough parts. This from the department budget thing was from the same manager. He didn't want normal payroll to go up. For a while basically everyone was carrying around $20 in tokens to give refunds. But all the comps were unacceptable to the manager, so now only the sales desk could issue refunds, which meant ordering pizza took forever and many people just left angry rather than waiting for a refund. Most machines had tape over the token slots. This backup at the sales desk didn't last long, as few people were coming and no one was booking parties anymore. Other than staff it was basically empty. It didn't even smell like pizza anymore. With no customers, the daytime guy finally had time to make repairs. But didn't have the parts to do most repairs.
As far as I know, that manager stayed there until the place went under 8 months after I was fired for not working a shift that his own rules said I could not work. TLDR, new managers' rules and laziness combine to destroy a once thriving business. This brings me joy.
If your business plan depends on exploiting your workforce, it is doomed to fail.
So they kept this numbnuts manager on and lost good employees and eventually the entire business? Make this make sense.
Good for you to standing up to bullying. Never work for free. I am continually amazed at how people who own businesses can be so oblivious to having one person who is destroying the whole thing. Geez. At what point does an owner start to think, I hired a new manager and ever since then I lost a key repair person and sales are in the toilet. I wonder if these could be related? Quote, do you just wait until you have to shut it down before looking for a way to fix it? Do you ever physically go there and talk to other staff to see what you could learn? Wouldn't some other employee say that they used to have another repair person but he got fired, so the owner could investigate? Owners like this deserve to lose their investment. Customer service tokens aren't even an expense. They're a way to make customers happy. You should be giving them to every customer you interact with. If they have a reasonable reason to get 1 or 2 tokens refunded, give them 4. If they look like they're not having fun for any reason, give them 2. Anyone who is buying tokens isn't going to reduce the amount that they buy because you gave them a couple. And if everyone is having fun, even if they're having fun by working the staff for freebies, then the entire group is more likely to become repeat visitors and buy more pizza. That's definite compliance. I'd feel bad for the place, but if they didn't want to pay for employees, that's what they get. They thought you'd do an hour of free work for a 5-hour shift? That would be hard to trick people into even for 7 or 8. 5 is openly delusional.
Didn't the owner ever check in?
If you can't take care of your employees, you and your business deserves to fail. How to destroy a business in simple steps. Why would anybody work free hours? I don't get why this is ever a thing. The only way this could be better is if the manager himself was walking around with tokens giving refunds. For a job that often doesn't seem to do a whole lot, a manager can really make or break a place. The manager did it to himself. He had no business taking a Friday off without having the schedule already done. Ain't karma a bitch? Obviously someone's idiot's son, but you'd think even with the density of management someone would keep an eye on a totally inexperienced clown. The devil is in the details, but you definitely need to look at the bigger picture to know which details are key. Glad you stood up for yourself. Up. Keep on keeping on. It's sad when I see a business fail because the people in charge don't think to course correct the new leadership on how to improve, or at the very least learn from their mistakes. That's showbiz.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.